Welcome, Wildcat fans, to a new episode of the Cat's Corner presented by our friends at Gates Chevrolet. I am your host, Coach P, and as always, I'm joined at the desk by the head coach of the boys basketball program here at Riley, the big cat himself, Mr. Alex Daniel. Welcome, Coach.
I appreciate you having me back.
So I've got pages and pages of notes here, and we're going to get to some hard-hitting stuff immediately. So the rumor mill has been flying, and we have received reports. And maybe you can just clear some things up. So what we've heard is that you not only demand, but you have had worked into your contract that we all have to refer to you as the big cat at all times. Can you confirm that for us, Coach? All right, so we got that cleared up. Lots to cover since last time, Coach. We had a few more last days of preseason preparation. That included an intra-squad scrimmage that took place just about a week ago. Talk about kind of the thinking that you have going into something like that. A lot of places handle an inter-squad scrimmage as more of a celebration type of thing. For us, it was a work day. We came in, it was more of a practice setting. So what's kind of the point behind that and what you're thinking in running that inter-squad scrimmage like that?
Well, I would think we've done that every year since I've been here. An opportunity to kind of create a game setting for our guys, allow them to showcase some things that maybe don't always occur during practice. The ability for them to play right more in an up and down setting. So it's good for us to go out there and execute things, to teach things. It gives you that extra film to go back on and stat and give them samples of what we're doing and how they're performing, both as a team and as individuals. So I think it was very, beneficial and needed at that point, during the season.
So we're not going to cover it too much, being that it's just kind of an inter-squad deal, but just a couple of standouts from that game. Peyton Baird, 7-9 from the field, 21 points, 8 rebounds. Manny came out with 14 points, 8 rebounds. And Jalen finished with 16 points. So some good performances across the board. And Brandon Williams, I guess I shouldn't forget him, 17 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals. So a lot of guys did some good things. Then you had a little bit more preparation, and then finally you look up, you look across the gym, and somebody else is looking back at you. Talk about just finally getting to that point. It's been a long process to get there. I know the guys are excited. As a coach, how excited are you? And when you go into that first preseason scrimmage, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to go against somebody different. We've been going at each other for a couple weeks now, and so getting a different style, different feel, new opportunity, to go against somebody. It gives our guys, that prep for the real thing. Westview is a, very good team, very disciplined. They offensively, they cut, they move, they did a lot of good things. So, that was a good test for us to see kind of where we're at and leading into our game on Tuesday, to see, where we are as a team and where we are as individuals as well.
So talk about your philosophy in that game. The rules of that game are a little bit different, being a preseason game, just so the fans know, I guess. So it's 4 quarters with a 15-minute running clock, no free throws. So it's really about just getting that up and down game action.
Yeah, I think we wanted to there's some pieces we're for sure about right now, but we also wanted to showcase and see some things from some other guys, different lineups. So we really mixed it up in terms of what we wanted to see. And so, again, we come out of that with film, with stats to go back to the guys and say, okay, this is where we are. This is what we're doing. And so, it wasn't a necessarily we got to win this game, but we wanted to perform well and see some guys do some different things. And so I think we got the most out of that. And like I said, are now able to make adjustments and going into the real thing.
So one of the things that we've talked about in the past, and one of the things that I noticed coming out of that scrimmage, we've talked about the balance and the depth that this team is going to have. And you just look at the scoring totals. I won't even say any names, but just going down the list, 9, 9, 10, 4, 5, 11, 9, 5, 5. Mm-hmm. So a lot of different guys contributing. Is that really what you want going into this season? And how are you selling that to your guys as we enter the early stages of this year?
Yeah, I think that makes you a hard guard when you got 5 guys on the floor that can hurt you. It's about these guys just kind of buying into what we're preaching and continuing to make the right play. And so they're trying to do so. And we've been working at this for a couple of years. We've got the core group that's been around and out of these pieces, and so we're trying to get accustomed. But playing the right way, playing the basketball the right way is important to us, and so they're seeing that. We may have a guy that pops off for 20 or whatever it may be, on any given night. But our balance and hurting guys from all positions on the floor is what's gonna be our benefit.
And that in itself is a strength, having multiple guys that on any given night could pop off for 20, right?
Absolutely.
Obviously
Absolutely.
a strength. So who stood out to you in the Westview scrimmage? Any names that you would throw out there as somebody that played particularly well?
Yeah, I mean, BJ Williams right now is just kind of a man on a mission. He's been a guy that's kind of played different roles throughout his career, has always been a part of it, but done some different things. And so he's really established himself as a guy that can knock in shots offensively. He's a straight line drive guy that can finish in transition, and he's rebounding the ball like crazy. So I think he came away with 4 or 5 offensive rebounds. And so he's really established himself as that physical
rebounds.
wing that can, go get a missed shot, doesn't have to have the ball in his hands, and go put it back in and get us an extra possession.
He's got a high motor. He plays with a lot of energy.
A lot of energy. We're trying to control that towards our team
Right.
at times. But yes, he is a guy that keeps these guys, their minds right and gets guys going.
So he finished as a leading scorer in that game, 5 of 10 from the field, 11 points. He had 7 rebounds, 4 of those being offensive, like you said. So big contributions. Another guy I wanted to highlight, Aiden Kent, another energy guy. And that's something else that you're looking for too, right? At the end of the day, you want guys that are just going to be on the floor going 110% all the time. And Aiden in that game was all over the place. 10 points, 5 steals, 4 rebounds, 3 deflections on top of that. What kind of energy did he bring to the game, and what's his progression right now as he's working his way into the lineup?
Yeah, he's a guy that came with us in August, so he's just trying to feel his way out. So he's had some good, some bad, and but we threw him out there in the game setting, and he performed. So that was good to see. I think it gives his teammates a sense of confidence in him and know what he provides. He was able to get in there and really mix it up. But it doesn't matter what position he's guarding. He's going to be physical with them. He's going to be athletic. He's going to make some plays happen. So he's a guy that we're really going to be able to use and defensively to shut some guys down. His physicality, the offensive end, he's finding his way to the basket, whether that be transition or offensive rebounds, and hoping he's a high percentage guy around the rim.
And so then the last guy I wanted to talk about, and it's kind of for an odd reason, but I wanted to talk about Marvin Schindler, Marv, because he finished 0 for 4 from the field. Mm-hmm. And that ordinarily wouldn't be something that you highlight, especially for a guy like Marv. He averaged 16 points a game last year, 10 points as a freshman. So obviously the kid knows how to score the basketball. But despite being 0 and 4, he still had a huge impact on the game. 7 assists versus 0 turnovers in this one. Talk about his development as a player and how much it means that he's getting to the point now where he doesn't necessarily have to score to impact the game. He's making plays for other guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of growth for Marv. And for him to come away, we've been preaching for the first 2 years about his assist to turnover ratio. And for him to come away with 7 assists, 0 turnovers, that's growth. And so, you add that on top. He didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but he didn't go off and shoot bad ones or anything. Like, he took the right shots, made the right plays, and so as a point guard on this team, like that's what we're going to ask for him, from him. And so it was really good to see that, especially this early in the year. He's an upperclassman now, so he should be turning that corner, and that just goes to show that he's been listening and he's trying to take in what we're saying.
11 assists versus just 2 turnovers between the inter-squad scrimmage and then the scrimmage against Westview. So some good ball playing there by Marv. So all in all, the scrimmage, would you say successful? Saw what you needed to see, learned what you needed to learn?
Yeah. I got a little sample size from everybody, all 12 guys. And like I said, Westview is a great test for us. It gets us prepared for our regular season.
A great passing team, which really makes them hard to guard.
Cutting, and their physicality in the post. It was really good for us.
All right, so now finally we're down to the real thing. Rolling out to Laporte, season opener. We talked about them a little bit in our last episode, but they finished 17-7 last year, 4-3 in the conference. But as they come back this year, it's really a brand new team. They graduated 7 seniors. Including 2 of their top 3 scorers. They graduated their leading rebounder. So they're really coming back looking to reload. And again, we talked about it a little bit this week, but maybe you don't know a lot about this opponent. So just what's your mindset going into the game, and how do you get your team tuned in when maybe you don't have all the information that you'd like to have?
Yeah, I think, Laporte obviously has some new pieces. But they got a couple kids back that we really want to key in on. and make sure that we know some tendencies from them. We want to make sure that we're know the scout on those guys and take care of those guys that are going to be, high, shoot a lot of shots and create a lot of their offense. So we want to hone in on those guys. But like you said, there is some unknown. We have some things from last year and them later in the season that, give us an idea of possibly what some things they can do. But you got to fall back on you and what we've been doing in our practices and preparing. We take care of ourselves, then the game should take care of itself. So Laporte's going to be a tough opponent. They're a sectional opponent, so we want to make sure that we, show them that we're ready. We're a team to be reckoned with this year. And these guys, I think, are just itching to just do the real thing here. So as am I.
So looking at the guys that are bringing back, the main guy that jumps out, and I may be butchering his name, but Kiskowski, he's a senior, averaged 11 points, 4 rebounds last year, 35% free throw shooter, just about 50% from the field. He's 6'5", 195 pounds, so good size on him, obviously some good skill. How much focus do you put on him as an individual, or are you just going into it, like you said, focused on us, and we're going to do this kind of as a team and figure it out as we go?
He's a kid we definitely have to key in on. We know him. He hurt us here last year, and so we really have to have an emphasis on, making sure he doesn't shoot the three. He is athletic. He does have size, so he presents a lot of problems. But I think it's a team thing for us, not just one guy shutting him down. So we're going to go at him in some different ways and do some different things. But he's a guy that's definitely on our radar. I think they're going to have some pieces around him that can knock in some shots. We got to know who those guys are and be able to play those tendencies as well. Where can we give help from? And sticks to some of those shooters a little tighter. And then at the end of the day, rebounding the basketball. They're a group that's in the past has been physical, tough kids, and so at their place. And so we gotta make sure that we're cleaning the glass and then getting out into transition. So.
Now you mentioned that we're going to be at their place. Is the mindset different when you're going on the road as opposed to being at home? What's the difference there?
I think there's different things that present obstacles when you're on the road as opposed to your own home crowd and environment. It's a place that this group's been before. Us having a team that has guys that are returners that we've been there. We know what that environment looks like, and so I don't think it's something that we should feel too uncomfortable with as we approach that time.
So all in all, feeling confident rolling into the season?
Yeah, I feel good. I like our group. I enjoy coaching our kids. They come to practice every day, prepared, ready to go. We have some really good leaders that are bringing us along, and just positive attitudes that keep us going. So I think it could be a very successful season, and looking forward to getting started.
All right, so there you have it. We've covered a whole lot of information tonight, from the inter-squad scrimmage to our first scrimmage against Westview, and now rolling into next week at Laporte. Now after Laporte, we break for a few days there for Thanksgiving. You and I may go eat more than we're supposed to. Then we come right back, and we're jumping right back into it. So by the next time we meet, we'll be able to talk about the games that are coming up in the schedule. But as always, until then, stay tuned to our social media channels. There's always going to be information and content dropping there. And stay tuned, because there is plenty more coming this season as we finally jump this thing off on Tuesday versus Laporte. So for Coach Daniel, I am Coach P. This is the Cats Corner. And until next time, as always, go Cats.
I want to freaking win.